Loki is slipping through time. Sylvie is asking if we want fries with that. Hey, we finally have our first glimpse of Short Round from the Indiana Jones movies. There is a lot going on in the first trailer for Loki's much anticipated sophomore season, and a lot of indications as to what will be going on. So, let's time slip straight into it and get more of an idea as to what Loki Season 2 has in store. Loki's new method of time traveling. The opening scene of the trailer shows us that the god of mischief suddenly has some type of involuntary time-traveling affliction called time slipping.
That's what's been happening.
Wow, time slipping.
And it's got him and Mobius spooked. What's worse is that there is apparently no way of stopping it, and it isn't supposed to be possible in the confines of the TVA.
Can you fix that?
No, it's impossible to time slip in the TVA.
Assuming that Season 2 picks up not long after the Season 1 finale, which sees our version of Loki return to a TVA from a branched reality whilst Sylvie killed He Who Remains and open up the multiverse to a lot of trouble, we are guessing it has something to do with how things were left. Remember, the main Loki of the show is a variant, and he is now in a TVA where Mobius no longer knows him, and Kang the Conqueror is worshipped, I guess we'll say.
What division are
What?
you from?
What are you talking about?
Who are you? What's your name?
But wasn't the TVA supposed to be outside of time and therefore unaffected by changes in the timeline? It looks like the sacred timeline being broken has messed things up, and somehow Loki is at the center of it. Our best guess is that by the season's end, all will become clear on Loki's time slipping. The fun side of this is that it allows us to play around with the time travel element of the show in a brand new way from time to time. Well done, writers. This will be a nice break here and there from the time door angle. It may also actually lead to something a lot of fans will be pleased about too: insight into Mobius's real life. As we found out last season, all employees of the TVA are actually variants of real people who were collected from the point where they eschew from the sacred timeline and brainwashed into agents of the Time Variant Authority, which includes our favorite gray-haired agent, Mobius. One thing noted throughout Season 1 was Mobius's affection for jet skis. We even hear him say to Renslayer after finding out he is a variant that he bets his real self has a jet ski. Well, that could be a possibility. At one point in the trailer, we see that Loki time slips to outside Piranha Power Sports, which has jet skis on display outside. This could give a nod to us maybe getting to see Mobius's real human life, where he lives by the beach and is a jet ski fanatic. Although, could it all be a bit of a coincidence? Too much of one, in fact. It is likely that we may just get to see our Mobius in a situation where he can ride one and get that thrill he has been seeking, but this would make for a fun way to show us the person that Mobius is in the confines of the secret timeline. Could we actually maybe see Mobius decide to step away from the tether of the TVA somehow? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Sylvie Incognito. Breaking the sacred timeline and opening up every corner of existence to a multiversal war, I mean, that is going to make anyone want to step out of the spotlight, right? Well, for the female variant of the god of mischief, there's no difference. Throughout the trailer, we see Sylvie sporting a new hairstyle, and at one point, presumably before she joins Loki on his adventures, she is seen sporting an old version of the McDonald's uniform, and something tells us it isn't because her mission is over and her biggest ambition is to make the world's greatest Big Mac. Yeah, it appears that Sylvie may somewhat regret her actions of killing He Who Remains and betraying Loki last season, so it is quite fitting that she would throw herself into an unexpected time and get a normal day-to-day job to blend in and be unnoticed by the TVA. What actually gets her from flipping burgers to kicking ass again is obviously yet to be explained, but we imagine her loyalty to Loki that grew of Season 1 will have something to do with it, and probably the fact that she could maybe help to stop the possibility of a multiverse war from ever happening could ease her conscience ever so slightly. Speaking of the multiversal war is on its way. Yeah, I know we already mentioned it a couple of times, but let's focus on this for a moment and actually take notice of what could be building up here. Loki ended last season by trying to tell Mobius of the coming multiversal war and the many versions of a terrifying individual that will be at the center of it. Well, through the trailer, we do see Loki apparently imprisoned in the TVA again, just like the start of Season 1, and we also see him trying to explain to Mobius that war is coming. If you look closely as he says this, for that split second, we see Loki gesturing to a wall with artwork of a lot of comic-accurate Kangs fighting. What could this mean? Well, it could just be that Loki Season 2 will continue to lay the groundwork for our next and fifth Avengers movie, The Kang Dynasty. We of course see Kangs from across the multiverse joining forces in Quantum Mania's post-credit scene. But what if Loki will further explain their intentions, and maybe even what is in the story for the fifth Avengers story? Renslayer finally joining forces with Kang. The last we see of Judge Renslayer, she headed off through a time door in search of free will. Now, considering in the Season 1 finale we saw her tell Mobius that only the person in charge has free will, it tells us that she went to find the TVA's CEO, He Who Remains. Interestingly, we do see Renslayer appearing to head into the void in the Season 2 trailer, and we do get a glimpse of He Who Remains' castle in tatters too. So it's possible she is going to find the corpse of her former boss, which holds the door open for her to instead join forces with the next best thing, Kang the Conqueror. Then again, take notice of what she is wearing in that vital glimpse of her appearing to enter the void. Is that 19th century garb we see her wearing? Now, how Kang will actually factor into the season, and if it's the version from Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, we have no clue. But we do know that Jonathan Majors is in the show under the guise of Victor Timely, and he will present at Chicago's World's Fair in 1893. We do also see Renslayer at another point in the trailer, a bit more smartly dressed in her 1800s attire. So maybe this is where she meets Boss's variant, and they instead head to the Void and their humble abode from there. Comic book fans will know that in the pages of Marvel, Renslayer was originally Kang's lover. So yeah, it looks like that's going to be played out in some form this season. With how loyal Renslayer appeared to be to He Who Remains in Season 1, and also how he himself made sure that she had certain information in her possession in the finale, it appears that this is going to make for one hell of a partnership. Just a shame that she is leaving the TVA and her employees in a total mess. Oh, by the way, speaking of her employees, Zaniac making his MCU debut. Who the heck is Zaniac, you may be thinking? Well, let us help you with that. You may have caught a glimpse in the trailer of a shot where people are crowded outside of a movie theater for Zaniac. Though it may seem like nothing, it could open up the entry of a very dangerous Marvel villain into this much-loved cinematic universe. In Marvel's literature, Zaniac is a magical entity capable of possessing people and also hails from the Dark Dimension. That's right, where Dormammu, the villain of the first Doctor Strange, is from. Zaniac's comic origins stem from the movie star Brad Wolfe being caught in an accidental explosion whilst on a set of a movie where he plays a creature called, well, Zaniac, actually, which leads him to becoming the host of the aforementioned villain. In later comics, it was revealed that Zaniac was actually behind the murders committed by Jack the Ripper, which could lead the show to having fun with historical facts, much like was done with D.B. Cooper in Season 1. With Raphael Cassell actually cast in the show as Brad Wolfe, and you can actually see him for a few shots of the trailer, it does look like we'll be getting a comic-accurate origin for Zaniac, and it will all unfold on what appears to be the premiere of the movie named after him, or that he is named after. No, wait. The movie named after the character who is named after the movie and the character in the comics. Sheesh, this stuff gets complicated. The TVA, closed for business? There is a lot to question about the new version of the Time Variant Authority that Loki winds up in at the end of the Season 1 finale. Mobius doesn't recognize Loki, and Kang appears to be the overlord the TVA serves. But there is clearly still some mayhem going on when Loki returns in those final minutes. So, has the truth about the Timekeepers still been unveiled? Is Renslayer still not around to help with damage control? Either way, the trailer does indicate that the TVA is about to fall apart for some reason, more than likely due to He Who Remains' death. At one point in the trailer, we see a TVA screen reading, "Thank you for your service," and in another glimpse, we see Loki and Sylvie fighting off hunters. Then, right, is that a yellow taxicab going through a window at the TVA? It does appear that whatever is going on in this new TVAV, Time Variant Authority variant, hopefully it catches on, it is still being affected by the losses of He Who Remains and Renslayer. Could this lead the organization to crumbling and leave Loki, Mobius, and Hunter B-15 to go it alone in their fight to save the multiverse? After all, we do see Hunter B-15 in a few different outfits in the trailer. Maybe she has been asked to turn in her badge, stick, and uniform on her way out. No, speaking of Hunter B-15, Hunter B-15 could be more central to the story. The badass hunter from Season 1 is back, and it looks like she is going to be along for the ride with Mobius and Loki more often this time around. As already mentioned, throughout the trailer we actually see Hunter B-15 in a couple of different outfits. Whilst many may think this is us getting views of her variants, what is the likelihood that Loki and Mobius antics will have them bumping into different versions of her? After her finding out the truth about the TVA, and seemingly to stand side by side with Mobius in the closing minutes of Season 1, we can bet our money that she's going to be more intricate to the story of Season 2. Not only that, but it looks like she isn't the only TVA employee that we'll be seeing out in the field more. Remember Casey, the office worker who uses Infinity Stones as paperweights and who Loki threatened to gut like a fish? Yeah? Well, if you watch closely, he does pop up in the trailer, and he does seem to be in a spot of bother. OB will be a big fan favorite. Are we expecting this? Nah, we're knowing this months in advance. Ke Huy Quan is only in the trailer for a few brief moments here and there, and we're already digging his character of OB adorable, sincere, and sure to be a scene stealer. We can only hope this character will live up to expectations with a fun performance from our recent Academy Award winner. Please, Marvel, don't break our hearts and have it turn out he is a villain or something. Keep him pure. Protect OB at all costs. The return of our favorite Marvel villain turned anti-hero is imminent, and clearly from the first trailer, there is a lot to get excited about. Enjoy the trailer? Notice anything yourself about what could be coming in Season 2? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Now we just sit back and wait until October. Wait, October 6th? 2 months? Oh no! Nuh-uh! I ain't waiting that long. Who has a temp pad?